goes home. Okay, this is the run of the bunch, I'd say. We have Richard Rawlings right there. We can see his arm tattoos, and we all have seen Richard, of course, on countless episodes of Fast and Loud. Fairly accomplished drag racer, incredibly accomplished businessman. Funny guy, too. Good driver. Rawlings is in the right lane, and he's up against Leah Pritchett in that purple on the left. Okay, Leah in purple, Rawlings in the dark car. Now remember, they're starting off no tree. Now Leah is an ace at the pro tree, of course, yellow-green, that NHRA pro tree. Well, it ain't happening here. They're both going to react to the starter's arm drop, and we'll see how that works out. You know, drag radials, I believe, on these cars. Wide body, in effect, on both, out of the red eye package. Rawlings right there, cooking those tires, heating them up. Smoke coming out of the hood vents. Okay, bump it in. There you go. Huge Brembo bike. Now, Richard, if the tire's spinning, that's not going to help you with it. Oh, don't be doing that. Well, we'll see. I think Leah's going to win this if he's spinning his tires, Richard. Oh, well, arms come down. Okay, Rawlings is doing a heck of a smoke show, but yeah, Leah's pulling out ahead. Whoa! Oh, Richard. Well, it's a drag strip, and that's what those concrete blocks are for. I think we just sold another SRT red eye. Okay, well, all is well. That's what happens sometimes. Just put on his room service tab. He'll be fine. It's not a big deal. Well, Leah goes on, of course, in that pair. All right, here's an aerial view, and look on the right lane. Yes, Mr. Rawlings, the rear tires are smoking. Let off. Clunk. All right, well, you know, we can fix it. Anything's fixable. His ego, well, we'll see what happens to that. That's between him and him. You can see the tires are spinning before this flagman's even started them. You can do that if you must, but it's a good way to send the rear tires up in smoke, and you're essentially steering with the rear tires. Now, we're not on a drift course, so that's what happens. You can see when the tire tried to climb the lower edge of that deltoid-shaped barrier. But that's a strange way to win a race. It's not a race, Richard, but one hell of a smoke show, but we're glad you're okay. The car is certainly fixable. And that's racing. And that's how to grab headlines. Well done, sir. All is well. Brian Loans is describing to the crowd how they can make a great deal on a Richard Rawlings edition Hellcat Red Eye. 20% off right here today. Maybe not. Yeah, the car's alive and well, still going. In fact, yeah, it's funny, the tire didn't even break the bead, so the tire and wheel are okay. I can see there a little crunch on the nose. Well, what can you do? Yeah, the airbag did go off, which is to say that it wasn't that much of an impact. It doesn't take much to trigger the airbags, but all is well. That car might go another round. I mean, I don't see fluids. He didn't break anything, so it's a testament to how tough these cars are. No problem. Nothing's bent. The wheel seems like it's good. And Richard Rawlings describing to the folks down there, to Leah, what happened. And I don't think Leah was aware of the mishap, but regardless, she goes on to the next round. So at least Leah doesn't have to live down being beaten by Richard. And Richard, warm. He has a story to tell, but it's not going to be about how he beat her.
I felt great. I felt like I was in the lane. I felt like I was getting a little out of the lane when I hit the wall, but I was good. Yeah, not a problem.
You felt you just wanted to give it just a little cosmetic surgery there.
So far behind at the time that I figured why not show the crowd something, you know, hit the wall, do a little something.
Did you appreciate his tactic of doing a standing burnout to start the race?
I mean, there was a lot of smoke going on there. I mean, a smoke show, that's what this is. That's what everybody's about. It don't matter. Sometimes you just clear your mind. I saw him, I was like, dang, he's early. And I was like, dang, he ain't going anywhere at all. And then saw the rear view mirror. But you know what? It's going to be great for his socials. It's great for Dodge, except for that right there. But I think he knows some people that are going to be able to fix it up. No big deal.
Put that out. It'll be a dealer promo later.
You know, I think the most important thing you said there, Leia, was rear view mirror.
Yeah, I know, but I got a couple more rounds to go. It's just like the Top Fuel Dragster.
Watch the right-hand lane.
I said, you do you,
that
and I'm
front
going to do me,
fender.
and that's what we do best.
Well, the car can attest to the fact that Richard did Richard.
You know, when you look in the rearview mirror where it says objects are closer than they appear, in hers it says objects in the mirror appear to be losing.
Appear to be getting further away as seconds go by.
It was pretty unique, Richard. I've never gone down the return road when the other competitors still going on the racetrack. So it's a first for us all. It's a first.
Go ahead, just let all the singers out. Just keep.
Yeah, hey, rematch. When and where?
Anytime. I'm just saying. Hey, I got beat by the fastest woman in the world. I'm good with that. I can take it.
Great race. Nice ping-ponging off the wall. Wow. All right, well, round one is complete. We had Finnegan beating Freiberger. We had Matt beating Christie. And, of course, you just saw Leia take down Richard. And thinking the surprise of the first round was Goldberg taking down Matt Hagan. So we're going to get the brackets straightened out, headed into round two. You having fun yet? I sure am. And just in case you think this isn't real, courtesy of Richard Rawlings.
And there it is. Our contendants for the next round is Mike Finnegan, Matt D'Andrea, Bill Goldberg, and Leah Pritchett. Those races coming up in just a few minutes. Not sure if the Dingle-mobile, the one that got hit on the left front, is going to be run again. I bet you it would run just fine. However, it's probably out of the contention for the night, but we'll see. It was good to see that the tire and the rim did not separate in terms of breaking the bead. In other words, the impact was minimal, not a big deal. I think just the fact that the bottom of that cement's angled made it look pretty extreme when the car went up and came down, but minimal harm, if any, beyond scratched paint. Good to see. I got to say, Richard did choose a rather unorthodox starting technique. More often than not, the tire spin is not something you want to see before the tree comes down or the starter's arms drop. But I think the goal was to make tire smoke, and well, that's what he did. But you know, I mentioned earlier, the Frank Hawley drag racing school 20 years ago in Pomona, and one of the rules was if the car ain't going straight, head off. With that said, that was one heck of a show, and again, brilliant for internet exposure, and well done, Richard. I got to say, about 4 years ago, Richard was at the wheel of a Viper, and a little further up in Birmingham on Woodward Avenue, and he did a beautifully executed 180 to turn the car around. Well, trouble was, he was, again, right there on Woodward, and some of Royal Oak's greatest or finest saw this and wrote him a ticket. They didn't really worry about he was Richard Rawlings, and they wrote Richard a ticket. But again, beautifully executed 180 in a Viper. But this is 2 incidents for Richard. But again, he seems to make really, really good hay on his social site. So you can watch. This is going to be all over the place. Go viral. Bank on it.